Hello everyone, and welcome to a new webinar of Sal Italiano Endodontics. This is Ahmed Al-Wa'ad, and today we're going to talk about the flat side design, the benefits, advantages, and uses. I am a certified silver member of Sal Italiano Endodontics, and before we get into the properties of the NITI files, my condolences to Dr. John Max Padden, who passed away unfortunately a few days ago. He is one of the legends in the development of endodontic files and also an obturation. So about Fanta company, I had the pleasure to be one of the first dentists who started using the products of this company, and also I had the privilege to represent Fanta at international conference at EDIC 2019. In which I had a workshop about the F1 files that we will talk about today. So before we get into the F1 files or any rotary files, so basically endodontic files, just like any drill, we are having blades that cut through dentine, and the debris will be accumulated in the spaces between the blades, which is called the flutes. When the flutes get filled, there is no cutting. So just as an example, just like in this drill, when there is no action because the flute's being filled with debris, we are taking out the drill to empty these flutes. And then we will have, again, a cutting. So the same concept for the files. When the flutes are being filled with debris, we are having an increased cyclic fatigue and torsional fatigue on the file. And this will lead and subject more stress on the file, which may lead to a fracture or separation of the files. And in the endodontic files, we are using a crown down technique. This means that we are going from coronal, we are preparing the coronal portion first, then the middle portion, and after that, the apical portion. And this necessitates to use multiple files. So if we are going many years ago or a few years ago about the Pro Taper files, they were one of the first endodontic rotary files or NITI files being introduced into the market. So as you can see, we are having multiple files. So first we are having files to shape the canal, and then after that we have another files to finalize the preparation. So we are having shaping and finishing files, and these files are being used in a progressive way. So first we are preparing the coronal portion, then the middle portion, and to reach the apical portion. And this is the procedure we use for Pro Taper. So this is an example of rotary preparation. After that, we had many systems, many companies, many brands being introduced NITI files for preparing the root canal rotation movement. But as you can see, all of these files, they are using multiple files to prepare the canal. So we are having shaping canals and finishing canals for the reasons that I have mentioned before. But we are looking for simplicity. We need to simplify the procedure because we all know endodontic treatment is not an easy procedure. So we need to simplify it as much as possible. So there was an idea. The problem was with the rotation movement because the flutes are being filled continuously. So after that, another system or another motion being introduced into the market, which was wave one files. They didn't use the rotation movement. They use reciprocation or alternative rotation. So we have cutting action in one direction, and then which was counterclockwise, and after that we have a relief motion, which is a clockwise, to empty the flutes from the debris. So it has been introduced as a single file endo, but in many cases that was not possible. For that reason, the company introduced another set of files, preparatory files, to be used before the wave one. which were the path files, 3 files, size 13, size 16, and size 19 taper 2. And for this reason, wave 1 cannot be considered as a single file preparation because we are using multiple files before. Although the company tried to simplify it more by making these 3 files as one file only as a ProGlider. So after the hand files, we are using ProGlider and then the wave 1. And also for the wave 1 gold, we are using another file before the wave 1 gold. So for that reason, we cannot consider it as a single file preparation. After that, another system being introduced into the market, which was the reciproc files by VDW. We can consider reciproc files as the first files as a single file preparation because it was really a single file. You don't have to use any rotary or reciprocation NiTi files before. So only sculpting of the canal with K file 10, and then you can use the R25 or R40 or R50 depending on the width of canal, but we are using only one file. But that was a reciprocation movement. So what was the disadvantages? The first disadvantage was the taper. The taper was very high. It was taper 8, although R25 was made for narrow canals, but the taper was 8. And this is logic because we need to compensate the cyclic fatigue. That's why they have increased the taper, so to decrease the incidence of file separation. But what are the issues for the reciprocation movement? The first thing is large taper, which is against the minimal invasive or minimal preparation, especially for narrow canals. Taper 8 is very high. And also the reciprocation movement generates cracks. Although this topic is controversial because we have many authors that conclude there was no relation between reciprocation and the cracks, but although we have another authors that included or concluded cracks generation during reciprocation. And also for all reciprocation files, they are pushing debris in apical direction, and that leads to post-operative pain and discomfort. So at Fanta, we have came an idea. We need to use only single file for canal preparation, but in rotation movement. And how is that possible? F1 file, basically, it's a single rotary file system. That means you need only one file to prepare the canal, only one file to shape and finish the canal. No need for other rotary files or reciprocation files. So the cross-section of the file, it's a shape with 2 active cutting points. And that means we are having more room or more space for debris. But also we have other brands or other files with the S shape. So what is the difference? What makes this file different from other brands? The main thing is the flat side design. It's a unique design. It's a special design of the file. And what does that mean? What are the advantages of this design? Well, as I mentioned, during preparation, we are having debris that are accumulated in the flutes, okay? And this decreases the cutting efficiency. But with the safe side design, these debris are being moved from the flutes to this flat side design. And during instrumentation, we are having continuously cutting. Why? Because the flutes are emptying from debris during instrumentation. And that means we have more cutting efficiency, we have more debris removal during instrumentation in coronal direction, not in apical direction. And also, we are having more room for irrigation, and that means more lubrication. And that means less stress subjected on the file, so less incidence of file separation. And even if the file got separated, although I never had a file separation in the F1. I had many file separation in other systems, but in F1, I never had a file separation. But even though, if you have things happens, you can easily bypass this file through the flat side design. So you may ask, but this may compromise the strength of the file. But the flat side design has not been cut deeply into the center of the file. So gives the file more flexibility, but not compromising the strength of the file. Also, the tip of the file is non-cutting tip, so we don't have a screw effect and also less chance of heterogeneous complications like canal transportation or zipping or ledges. So with the F1, due to the flat side design, we are having a file with high flexibility and high cutting efficacy. So to compare this file, we have compared with another file also from Fanta, which is called S1 file. Both of these files have the same cross section, which is the S shape, but the S1 without the flat design. There was a conclusion that F1 is 150% higher resistant to cyclic fatigue. Why? Because of the flat side design. F1 file is made from special nitai wire, which is called AFR, which gives the file more flexibility, and the design gives more the flat side design give the file more cutting efficiency. So we are having both high flexibility and high cutting efficiency at the same time in the same file. So the procedure is very easy. First, you need to negotiate the orifices, and you need to make a straight line access, just like any NITI file, any NITI system. So after that, after scouting of the canal, you can use only one file to prepare the canal, only one file to shape and finish the canal, which is size 25 taper 4 or 25 taper 6. Very easy, only one file. But this is in theory. We need to apply it in clinical situation. Is it applicable? Is it applicable to all of the cases? Well, let's see this case. This is a case of lower molar with defective amalgam restoration. So after making straight line access and after scouting of the canal, I'm using size 25 taper 4. And as you can see, it went smoothly in the mesial canal with the rotation movement. Now we are preparing the second second mesial canal. And also, as you can see, it's just a matter of seconds. You need 5 seconds, 7 seconds to prepare the whole canal. Only you need to make sure a patent pathway of the canal with K-file 10. You are making a good scouting of the canal. After that, I have noticed there is an extra canal, mesial canal, middle mesial. It was very narrow, very, very narrow. But as you can see, after scouting, the file 25 taper 4 went very smoothly into the canal. And it's very evident how are the debris are going out of the canal in the coronal direction. Why? Due to the flat side design. And this is after preparation of the canal, and the tooth now is ready for obturation. And you can see the 3 mesial canals were prepared very easily with the F1 file. Why? Because of the flat side design. And this is another example. This is upper first molar, and from the clinical situation, you can see from the whole pulp chamber is calcified. There is also under magnification, under microscope, there is no evidence of the orifices because the canals were very calcified. But after scouting of the canal, after making sure we are having patent pathway of the canal by K-file 10, it was very easy to prepare the whole root canal system with the F1 size 25 taper 4. Why? Because of the flat side design. This is another example of an upper premolar, and from the radiograph, there was no evidence of canals. The canals were very calcified. Although it took me a lot of time to scout the canal or to negotiate the canal with the hand file 10, But after that, it was very easy to prepare the canal with size 25 taper 4. It's just a matter of few seconds to prepare the whole canal. How about curved canal? Is F1 file efficient in curved canals? Yes, this is an example also of an upper molar. And as you can see, the mesobuccal root was very curved. The curvature was 90-degree. After making patent pathway with K file 10, it was very easy to prepare the canal with size 25 taper 4. And you can see this case in full details. It was published in Pub Dentistry. You can go on Pub Dentistry and you can see the whole description of the case. So after knowing the advantages of the flat side design, can we use or can we utilize this advantage in retreatment? We know a retreatment, it's not easy to do retreatment. Why? Especially with the night eye files, because we are due to the cataperca that apply more stress on the file. That we are having more chances of file separation. But can we use the same advantage of the flat side design in retreatments? Let's take a look. This is a lower molar. I need to do a retreatment because it's a failed endodontic treatment. So first thing, I use open file for a few millimeters, so I can ensure that when I'm using the F1, it can be engaged. You can use open file or hot pin of the obturation. So as you can see, I'm using in the retreatment only size 25 taper 6, only taper 6 because I need hair cutting efficiency. And as you can see, there was no solvent, no irrigation, no lubrication, and the file went smoothly into the canal. It removed very easily the cataperca and it did retreatment very easily. Why? Because of the flat side design that permits the debris and the cataperca to go through the flat side design into coronal direction, and the flutes keep emptying the whole instrumentation. So less stress subjected and more cutting efficiency. How about more complex situations like this upper first molar? It was treated with thermofil, and as you know, thermofil, it has a plastic core. It's very difficult to remove. Applying the same procedure, I'm using open file just a few millimeters to let the F1 file engage with the cataperca. So again, for retreatment, I'm using only size 25 taper 6 because I need less flexibility and higher cutting efficiency. And as you can see, it's very evident. The file removes the getaperca, the plastic core, and re-instrumentation at the same time very easily without any solvent, without any irrigation, without any lubrication because of the flat side design. Okay, because it removes debris coronally continuously or simultaneously during instrumentation. And this is for the distobucal canal. The same thing, the file goes smoothly inside the canal, retreatment, and cutting and removing the plastic core along with the getaperca. This is for the palatal canal, also the same thing. So this is the advantage of the flat side design because we are having continuous cutting efficiency during instrumentation. This case had a missed MB2 canal. So it was a narrow canal. There was no need to use size 25 taper 6. It was a missed canal. So after scouting of the canal, I'm using F1 file size 25 taper 4, which was very good or very enough for the missed MB2. This is evident. You can see the debris that are going into coronal direction during instrumentation. Why? Because the flutes are being emptied during instrumentation because of the flat side design. So recommendations of the file, it's a single rotary file system. That means you need only one file to prepare the canal after making sure you have a patent pathway of the canal with a hand file. It's continuous rotation. The speed is 500 RPM. You may ask, this is very high speed. Yes, you can use it in 500 ppm. This is the most suitable speed because of the flat side design and the torque at 2.6. Okay. At Style Italiano, we thought that we can make some modifications of this file. So we can have multiple files for different situations. The first thing, there was the glider ST file, which is for mechanical scouting of the canal. So the kit comes with K file 10 and the glider ST, which size 13 taper 3, and then we have three files. So we can use size 20 taper 4 for very narrow canals, and you can use 25 taper 6 for regular canals, and for wide canals you can use size 35 taper 4. So again, it's the same concept. We are using only single file to prepare the canal, either 20 taper 4, either 25 taper 6, or 35 taper 4. But you need to do a scouting of the canal. So you can use hand file or you can do mechanical scouting with a size 13 taper 3. Glider ST size 13 taper 3 has the same safe side design or flat side design. So this is a good example of these files. So this is upper second premolar, as you can see. Uh, Very calcified canals in the radiograph, and also it's very long. Actually, the working length was 27 millimeter. So in this case, I didn't use manual scouting. I used glider ST mechanical scouting. It went smoothly to negotiate the canals, and I have finished with prepare the canal and finish with only one file, which was size 25 taper 4, and this is the final situation. So it went smoothly inside this long calcified canals. Okay, this is a very nice another example. This is upper molar. So from the radiograph, we can see there are some calcification or stone in the pulp chamber, especially at the mesial-buccal canal or the orifice, and the mesial-buccal canal was very curved. As you can see, severe curvature. So clinically, this was the stone at the mesial-buccal orifices, MB1 and MB2. After removing this calcification using ultrasonic, I couldn't negotiate the MB2 with the hand file. It was not possible because it was very narrow, very calcified. So I have used the glider ST size 13 taper 3, and due to the flat side design, as you can see, it went smoothly inside the canal. Although its size is larger than the hand file, the K file or C file 10. But due to the flat side design, it went smoothly to scout the canal, the MB2 canal, although it was calcified and very curved. And as you can see, the debris are being removed in coronal direction. Why? Due to the flat side. And this is an evidence how the canal was curved after taking the working leg. So it was just like in a helix shape. And this is the final preparation. So in this case, I used only one file, which was 20, size 20, for the MB1, MB2 dystopical, size 20 taper 4, and for the palatal, I have used size 25 taper 6. That's it. Only one file to prepare the canal. And this is a very nice recommendation by one of my colleagues at King's College in UK. He sent me, I have sent him some samples to give them a try. This was his review. Very nice case. As you can see, the curves very nice even after preparation. This is upper first molar, and also for this is for this upper premolar with the three canals with very narrow and calcified canals. So that was his review about this file. So again, for the F1 files or the flat side design, you need only one file to prepare the canal. All you need just to make sure you are having a patent pathway of the canal, either with hand file or you can use the glider ST mechanical glide path. And also there is a lot of description of this file and these uses, the use of these files at pub dentistry by Fabio Gorni. It's very nice webinar. I highly recommend you to go and see this webinar. So I'm ready for your to answer your questions. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and also you can follow us as Style Italiano Endodontics. We are having two websites, and these websites, Pub Dentistry and Style Italiano Endodontics. This website contains a lot of articles, very nice cases, very nice tips and tricks, and webinars, and also reviews about different instruments. Also, you can follow us on YouTube. We are having two channels. We are having Pub Dentistry channel and the Style Italiano Endodontics channel. And of course, on Facebook. On Facebook, we are having Facebook page and Facebook group Style Italiano Endodontics. Proudly is the largest group on social media about endodontics, and also on Instagram. So until next time, stay safe. Thank you very much for watching.